Hello. Last time we learned about the FCD. We did a bit of practice with the FCD in the storage profile. Now we are going to use the first class drive as a service in and see how we can use it here. So we'll go in cloud assembly, then we'll click on design and we'll deploy a create a deployment. This is standard deployment. We are doing a standard deployment in which the FCD is not configured. So when we make the standard deployment in here, we can see the resources has been created, and here the template is getting cloned. So resource name is 3921. So we look for VMWENG 3921. This is a machine which is getting deployed. So in here, the hard disk is SA shared 01, which is a preferred one. And if we go in infrastructure under storage profile, we'll see that silver is our default. We'll wait for the deployment to get completed. Yep. So it is done. Now I'll just decommission this one. I'll delete this VM and I will see the behavior, how VM behaves when we have to configure FCD. And last time we saw that FCD has to be deployed separately. In here we can see VM3921 is residing on its VMDK file is residing on SA shared 01. Now we'll just wait for this to get deleted. Yeah, it's done. So now in here we'll go in storage profiles. We'll open FCD. We'll select the data store SA shared 02. It is already selected. We'll mark this as a preferred storage policy for this region so that whenever deployment happen, it should happen for the FCD. Now in here we can see the default. There's a tick mark. Now we'll go in design. We'll create a new template, new blank template in which we'll provision the disk, FCD disk. Vmweng create. Now I'll drag and drop the disk, vSphere disk in here. We'll accept the inputs from user. So it could be 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB. So name of the variable is FCD disk, FCD size, and in here the type will be integer. Default value is 1 and enumeration is 1 2 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Great. So this is a user input which we are accepting. That user input has to be placed in the capacity per GB. So instead of 1, we'll specify input colon FCD size, save. Now we'll click on show all properties. In here, we'll try to add the tag. Mm, we have to specify the constraint tag. We need not to give a tag to the only resource. We need the constraint tag so that the deployment should happen on the FCD only. So provisioning type will select thin, and then we'll go and select the constraint type, not the type. We'll remove this, go in properties. We'll look for constraints. Okay. In here, we'll add the tag. Apply. We'll go in code. Yeah, now it is constrained that this particular story has to be on the FCD, even though it's by default we have specified the FCD. Now we'll deploy. We'll provide the name test FCD current draft. Now we'll select the size in deployment input size. It is 1 GB, 2 GB, or we'll go with the one deploy, and we are getting an error. We'll delete that one and let's investigate. Let me test it and check why it is failing. Okay, we have specified colon instead of dot, input dot FCD size. It's a property. So we'll test now. Yeah, it passed. So I'll deploy this time FCD. FCD tests 1 GB. We'll wait for the deployment to get complete. Yes, this time it is successful. In here we can see the type. It is HTTP. Let me go in volume. In here we can see this is a provision, this is a disk which got provision, and this FCD first class disk is yes. Okay, now I'll go in vserver, and in here we can see on SA shared 02 the tag which we have specified. There's a FCD folder, and in that there's a vmdk file of 0 KB size which got created. So I'll try to use this disk. In order to use this disk, I'll create deployment. I'll create a machine. This is for production. FCD deploy. So this deployment will create the resources. Let me check whether it is getting created in vserver. Yeah, network has been provisioned, and yeah, copy is in progress. This is a machine 3925 which has been provisioned. Now 3925 is the VM. So now what I'll do, just I'll wait for this deployment to get complete. it is completed now. So now we can see the success, and then we'll go in vserver. In here we'll attach the disk with this particular machine to use the fcd disk. We'll go in actions, go in setting, edit setting, and in here we'll add the existing disk which has been created by the fcd in sa shared 02. In fcd, in here we can see the size is 0 bytes. We'll select this one and attach this disk to the virtual machine, the fcd which we have provisioned. Will open, and after logging into this machine, we'll try to write data. Fdisk -l cd. It's not, yeah, there's a 1 GB disk. We can see here in the proc partitions that it is, we have the fcd as sdb which is 1 GB in size, which has been provisioned. Now I'll format this disk with the ext4 format. Now this has been formatted, so we'll mount it. We'll create a file in this one in /mnt. test01.txt. We create a file. We'll list that file in mnt. Yep, it is created. We'll shut down this machine. Now we'll go in vcenter and validate the size of the fcd disk vmdk. We'll click on disk sa share 02 in fcd. This disk is not 0 KB anymore, it is 39.9 KB. Now in provisioning, we saw how we use the fcd disk. Now we'll go ahead and delete the resources. I'll go in resource and I'll try to delete the disk. No, I'll try to delete the first machine, and we'll see the deletion of the machine will not delete the disk. So in here we saw the VM has been deleted, but in if we go in data store, still the disk exists. There's no we can see there's no machine, no VM. Now we can go ahead and delete this one too. That's all. So this is how we can use FCD for our service. Thank you.